It's 11 questions that I'm going to ask you, and then each of these, I guess, are just meant to kind of like get you thinking into a certain direction. So I'm not going to say them all like at once like a bullet, like a kind of, I'm going to like ask questions based on the answer you give, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Eventually I'm going to have this I'm going to go back to. So the first one's pretty easy, and it's simple. It's, what is the book that you have gifted the most, and why?
I don't think I don't think that I have an answer for that one, but it's like I have gifted books, but or actually, if there's an answer, it's only like by like a margin of one, because I'll read books, and I usually won't buy them again. Like, I've only done that once, I guess, that I bought it just for the intention of gifting it. So I guess that would be The Stranger by Camus.
Camus?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because you've gifted me like the first one had a big one on me, 451, and then you gifted me the two recently. The last one is in my bag right now, and then before you gave me Bukowski, and then I think that's it. I think three. But you always seem to be like reading something different, and then turning around right now, there's just like literally a pile of books around the room. So you think The Stranger?
Yeah, actually, I have kind of a shit memory because of drugs, probably. But yeah, thinking back on it now that you mention it, yeah, I think maybe it would have to be like Camus, Bukowski. Let's see, let's keep climbing the ladder of like hipster pretentious books, right?
Right.
No, that and like Hesse. So Herman Hesse. I've gifted like Damien. I forget which other ones by him, but that, I guess.
Would Camus be one of the favorites, one of the tops?
Yeah.
Why?
That'd be one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite writers, I guess.
Is there a reason?
Well, if you've read The Stranger, I guess it's a kind of like a kind of typical book for someone like coming of age, kind of a time. But also his life, you can't. I think it's hard to separate like an artist from their life, the work from their life.
Do you think you unintentionally put yourself in the work?
Yeah, people. I mean, I think more often you do it intentionally, but maybe I'm projecting, but you do it intentionally. You do it intentionally, and then.
So when you paint something, or whatever, you're intentionally trying to say something that happened to you, or.
Yeah, trying to do it intentionally, but at the same time, without being too obvious, because I think that's like the worst kind of art, like obvious.
It's the main rant stuff.
Yeah.
Just like,
well,
this is how I feel. And
even her, it wasn't like, it was still.
I think there's a difference between like the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, where she's like,
yeah,
fuck you with her ideology.
Yeah.
And the Fountainhead is more her being kind of subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, after you kind of know what she's about, it's kind of obvious. But I feel like the first time you read it and the first time you're hearing about her, it's a little different.
That's true.
All right. This is the next one I got. What's the best $20 you've spent in the past few months? Originally, the question was, "What's the best $100?" But I thought the 20 would be a little more interesting. I think that kind of that makes it something.
Yeah, I think it is more interesting that way. Because $20 you can spend it in one day and not think about it.
Yeah.
But it's also something that could like be major also.
It could be. Have you had $20 be detrimental to you?
Yeah, a lot of times. But I don't know. Best $20, probably like buying acid or something.
Acid for $20?
Yeah, 2 hits. So like me and a friend, $20.
So it was a 2 for 1.
It wasn't 2 for 1, but
I mean, like your friend got.
Yeah.
So it was like it was you and you.
I think that's like the best thing you could
get right there.
Yeah, way better, dude. It's like an immersive movie, and it can be transformative, I think.
Did you have have you done it more than once, acid?
Yeah, acid shrooms. Not a lot, but yeah.
As far as acid, has it generally been a positive experience or a negative?
Positive for me, negative for people that were around me at the time, you know.
Do you think you have a reason? I was gonna say if you're the reason. No, okay.
Yeah, I would just hate to be my trip sitter, you know. But generally, it's been good. Totally worth it. I think everybody should. Well, I don't know about everybody, but I mean,
good amount of people.
If you're into like expanding your mind, not in a kind of hippie way, but in the kind of trying to attain knowledge way, it's worth.
Do you think if someone's open to the idea or curious about it, they should probably do it? You think that's a pretty good barometer?
Yeah, they should definitely do it if they're open to the idea. But even if they're hesitant, I think you
just not thinking about it.
No, I think maybe even if you're thinking about it and you're hesitant, still do it, and it'll be scary as fuck, but you'll be fine. Nobody's ever died from acid.
Is that true?
I'm saying it's true right now.
Most people, at least this is just what I've gathered from musings with other people. Shrooms is an introspective kind of experience, and an acid's more of like an extroverted one, where one is looking at the inverse and the other one's looking at the universe. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
I think I would disagree with that, but I think it has less to do with the substance and more to do with the dose. Because most people take like recreational doses, which is like small doses that you could definitely feel pronounced effects of the drug, but you're still here in this world, you know, you're laughing, having fun. But if you're gonna take like a psychedelic dose, then you're gonna be like introspective, or it's gonna be completely inside of you, or which you can confuse with like the universe at the same time. So I think it mostly depends on the dose, and I don't think it has to do with the substance as much.
So how what is a failure or an apparent failure that sets you up for either a gain or a realization?
I think it was a few years ago when I was I forget how many years ago, maybe like 4 years ago or something. I was like hitchhiking. I think I told you that story, and I was trying to move to Oregon or something, and I ended up in Portland, like downtown Portland, alone, you know, broke, no money, cold as fuck. I'd never been like, you know, that far north. So So like I had like my flannels like in a hoodie, and I was like, I needed to like.
You were alone or with other people?
I was with somebody up until San Francisco, and then from San Francisco to Oregon, I was alone. So I was alone for maybe about a week. Yeah. So that week of loneliness was pretty intense. But yeah, back to the question. I think I came to the realization of that I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm scared as fuck. I don't know anybody. I don't know how to get money. I was a fucking kid, I still feel like a kid, but I'm obviously not. But
how old are you?
I'm 27 right now, but I don't know how old I was back then, maybe 22 or something. But yeah, I couldn't do it. Like, I called my sister. I asked her like for bus fare to get back to Oceanside, and
how did she know that you were gonna be going up there?
yeah, they all knew. Like, I told everybody like, oh, I'm leaving. I'm moving up there. I'm gonna hitchhike. They're like, what are you doing? This is stupid. I'm like, no, I'm doing it.
So was it a planned thing, or was it more of like a quarter life crisis sort of deal?
It was just like I had this idea of like what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and like that's what that person would have done.
They would have gone up there.
Yeah, they would have done that thing. And yeah, and I came back and I felt like shit, like I came here back. I came back to Fallbrook, and my sister picked me up. No. I got off the train. Oceanside, got a bus here, and I didn't want to go to my mom's house because that's where I was gonna stay. And
did you feel embarrassed?
Yeah, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed, like a failure. Like I went like so cliche. Like I went like by this bar, and there's like an alley, like a super narrow alley, and I just like went there and like fucking cried in the alley in the dark at night. Like I don't want to go home. Yeah.
Did anyone see you?
No, nobody saw me. And then like my sister was texting me like, where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm in town, but I don't want to go home. And she's like, what the fuck, just come home, like everybody misses you and stuff like that. So I went home, and it was cool. But I guess that was a failure. But then I don't know, I realized that how much like family and friends are like helpful and valuable. I don't know.
You kind of like, you appreciate them?
Yeah.
More so than before?
Yeah, more than before, but I don't know, at the same time, I just think like maybe that's just like apologetics, like that's bullshit, like I should have stayed, and this is my way of,
Do you think that's still just the angst talking?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I think I could say it without too much emotion,
Alright. So in this scenario, if you could have a giant billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say and why? It could be a quote, it could be a phrase, a name.
What do you mean, like right now?
Yeah.
Like anywhere for whatever reason?
Yeah.
Damn. Fuck. That's a weird question.
A little bit, yeah, but it's kind of like if you could, I guess if you could literally have like a podium, so to speak, and just like yell something out,
I guess I would have it like, I would have like a billboard like in like the trendiest part of like New York.
Yeah.
Of like my name, and then have like opening reception for whatever made up gallery.
Yeah.
And like a giant something like a painting or something that I've done. And then like if I could have that, like that's anything like the billboard, I'd do that. And then once that was there, then I would try to like scramble to get an actual fucking location, and then work from there, under pressure. So I'd put like the giant invite, everybody come check this out, and like to something that's not real,
So you would kind of force yourself to...
Yeah, force myself, like light a fire under my ass kind of thing,
Do you think you have to be that kind of... I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Yeah, I don't know if you remember them. It was actually Vincent.
Yeah.
From high school. And we were talking about how there's kind of like two ways to do things, like to quote unquote make it. And I kind of feel like one's burning the boats, and then the other one's just sucking it up and doing it while you're doing the grind.
Yeah.
And I feel like both require a lot of work, but one is like do the day job that eats your soul, and then at night write the novel or paint or whatever it is. And then the other one is just like burn the boat, And we were talking about it, and then like how I think I have to burn the boats, clearly, because I literally feel like I'm being poisoned when I'm at work. Him, he seems in a certain way more disciplined where he can put up with it, so he could do stuff on the side. So do you think you're more of a burn the boat?
I don't know. I think about this a lot too, and I think about which one's braver,
Yeah. It's a different kind of bravery, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they're both insanely hard. Because like one's like, you're gonna die, and the other one's like, I might not make it out. One's like you're going into an abyss.
Yeah. I think about Bukowski when I think about that question, because he was like he worked like all his life, right? He was like a postman for like fucking 40 years. I don't know. I'm not sure the number, but he like worked his whole life and had a shitty life, he said. And I always like this quote that that I heard from him where he was talking about how he got famous towards the end of his life. He's like, he said all the blondes with the tight pussies, they came too late, the gods toughened me up, they made me tough now, so I don't know.
It was always funny.
Yeah.
It's the last one.
Yeah. So
the flaws and the flaws. Okay. So on that note, I think we kind of like, what is the most worthwhile investment that you've ever made? And this could be time, energy, or money, or whatever, what have you.
Okay. I think just probably drawing or painting, because I've done it since I was like a little kid, and I just kept doing it, and that's the only way to be halfway decent at something. Just do it a lot, and that's the only thing that I've ever done like a lot. Or graffiti, I think that was even more. I would switch my answer to graffiti.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I hadn't stopped doing graffiti, and I don't care about like having continued painting like how I did now.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I would have, and I could still start, but I would say graffiti. That's like the best. Like, it's the best thing. It's the most fun. Yeah, it's the most worthwhile, and it's like instant gratification too, almost. And it's fun. It's like the most fun.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah.
So you kind of see it as so you're talking like the skill itself is the investment where you're putting in the time and effort?
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
That's the most invest. And also you got to get like emotionally invested in it and like culturally invested in it. So yeah, I would say graffiti.
What I guess that kind of ties into this, or it could be something else. What is an unusual habit or an absurd thing that you love?
Graffiti. Yeah, perfect. That's a good segue. Graffiti. It's like an obsession, I guess. Now I've stopped going out and painting, you know, but I still carry a marker with me, and I have a key. I have like my house keys, so like I'll scratch on whatever I can with that. Like places where everybody goes to, like gas station pumps, you know, like where the numbers read. Those are the best spots because everybody's like forced to look at how much money they're spending, so they have to see your name. So I guess writing on shit all the time, that's a weird habit.
So for that, do you think this is more of like an outsider here kind of asking, is the gratification in doing it, or is it in having people see it?
It's in mostly having people see it, but it's different for everybody. It's and it's also different, like in stages. Like first you do it, and the gratification comes from people seeing you up and seeing you, and you're like famous, you know.
Yeah.
And then that kind of becomes normal, or kind of you don't think about that anymore, and then comes like you just have to do it out of habit. And also do it to like to like sleep at night, you know.
Yeah.
Like now, like right now, like I can't like sleep at night if I'm, you know, like kicking cold turkey or not getting high after like cold sweats. You know, like right now I'm fucking sweating under here, but I'm freezing. But and I can't sleep at night. But when I was like younger, writing graffiti, I couldn't sleep at night. I'd be thinking like, oh, like I should be out right now, like hitting that spot that I saw earlier. If I don't hit it, this fucking lame ass kid's gonna hit it, you know, and things like that.
So it's competitive in a way.
Yeah, it's like graffiti is like the best because it's like a sport, it's like an art, and it's like a war. It's the best thing. Yeah.
In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most changed your life?
Probably drugs. Yeah. For the worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not in a positive way.
Yeah.
Now how did that kind of happen, I guess? Because like I think everybody when they start out, it's beer and weed.
Yeah, it started off. Oddly enough, it started off with this kid. We were at my friend's house, and this kid gave me some pills, like painkillers, and I guess he had been doing them for a while, but like I had never done them, and he gave me like a dose like he was taking for me, and like a skinny ass, like I think I was like 18 or 17. That had never done any kind of opiates, you know, and like he gave me a strong, like super high dose, and yeah, it was fucked up. I was like all like slumped over, like I could hardly breathe. I was scared as fuck. I thought I was gonna die. But after that, I didn't like it. You know, obviously it wasn't cool, but I don't know how I started, dude. That's weird. Because I didn't do it for like maybe a year again, because I thought that shit was fucking horrible, you know, scary. And then later on, I don't know why, I decided to try it again, and it was nice. And yeah, there's been...
Tried it again, you had a more positive experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's also like what's the word? It's like multiple drugs, you know, that I'm into, but or have dabbled in, but that's like the one that I can't, you know, have trouble kicking. And to this day, it's like I would like to stop and try, and I'm gonna make a real effort to get rid of this year, hopefully.
Has there been another situation or time where you thought you were going to go cold turkey?
Yeah. Yeah. There was this, it happened, I don't know when it happened. I think it was like 3 months ago. 4 months ago.
So fairly recent.
Mm-hmm. I did go cold turkey. I was partying with some friends. We were like going to bars, and I was like drinking a lot and popping pills, and I guess I was so drunk that I didn't realize how much I was taking. So like the next thing I know, I was like in my room. Like I woke up. It was like I was cold as fuck. I was like it was weird. I don't know. I was like my chest was like hurting. Like I was gonna. It was weird. I don't know what it was. I think it was like ODing or something. But anyways, like I managed to call like an ambulance, and I went to the hospital, and they just told me to chill out, and they just let me go. Yeah, they're like, yeah, take it easy on that stuff, and then they're like, all right, you can go. Well, I mean, I slept there for like a day, and then afterwards they're like, yeah, diagnosis, just don't do that again, I guess. And they gave me like, oh, here's like meetings, AA meetings or NA meetings.
So they gave you some sort of not rehab, but just like groups.
Yeah, but yeah, just like some flyer, something like that. But yeah, and after that I quit for like I don't know, like 2 weeks, I think. But yeah.
Just something triggered for you to come back onto it?
Just boredom, I think, or boredom, and like it's easy to do it. And
you think it's like small town syndrome kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I was working at the time, and the job, the monotony of it.
Yeah. I
need it, to. I was only there for 1 year, but no.
Do you think that most people have a similar experience but with like alcohol?
Oh yeah, for sure. And me too, like I drink too, so like heavily when I drink, I binge drink every time. So yeah. I think that's like the worst. That has affected my life in the worst way. I think without that, I could have things would have been way better, I think.
Well, that kind of leads me to this. What advice would you give yourself or a college student about to enter the real world? What advice should they ignore?
A college student? Or what did
it
you
could
say?
be I guess just someone in their early 20s.
Oh.
Someone who's coming out of college or out of high school, I guess.
Out of high school, or I don't know. I'd say don't do drugs. Yeah, don't do hard drugs, and smoke weed. Don't drink. Alcohol sucks. Do acid and shrooms when it comes to. Because I'm just going through a list of drugs that you should.
You're like psychedelics okay.
Psychedelics okay.
Alcohol no.
No narcotics.
Say no to the opiates.
Yeah. And I would say travel. That's the best thing. Do that. And try to meet as many people as you can. The more people you know, it's like the more open-minded you are.
The more ideas you encounter.
Yeah, try to avoid like this whole tribal kind of mentality. That's like what's bringing humanity down, I think, like us against them. Fucking tribalism.
Do you think that could be remedied by just talking to different people?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so what is so in painting or in graffiti or in anything, I guess, what are bad recommendations that you hear? Or just bad advice?
Um, I guess I was here. People say to take like to find like a mentor, and you know that it's important to find a mentor so you can like know the rules
Mm-hmm.
to something, to a certain like art or craft.
Teacher.
Yeah,
Like a
a
teacher.
teacher. But it's not that I wouldn't say it's bad advice, but I would say you could also do it without that. You could learn on your own, and you'd have more creative freedom that way. But it's, I mean,
Go on your own path.
yeah, but that's harder, and but I mean, again, it's a it's a it's not like it's wrong to find like a mentor, do it the right way, you know, go to art school. I mean, I wouldn't discourage somebody from doing that, but I mean, don't like think that's the only option, you know.
Well, Emerson kind of had like an idea like that, didn't he? The
Yeah,
go off the beaten path.
yeah, yeah.
And then, like my favorite thing is like what follow your bliss. You know, like if I had a billboard, I would put follow your bliss.
I know my answer was really fucking selfish, right? Egotistic,
No.
but
No, there's no wrong answer. I mean, that was
I'm
kind of.
hungry, man, dude. I don't have a lot of I don't have any money, dude. So like I don't know if I want to pay my rent, you know. Follow your bliss. I'll tell people that once like I've found my bliss, you know.
You're like, fuck, I gotta eat first.
Fuck you, pay me, you know. No. Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
Well, Ricky, what I would have done. Yeah. Follow your bliss. Shit.
That's real nice advice, Oscar. You got. All right. Moving on. In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to? Distractions, invitations, or whatever.
I think I've become better at saying no to new things, like the things that I should be saying. Wait, what was the question again?
Pretty much like, what have you, in the past 5 years, what have you gotten better at saying no to?
Oh yeah. So that like these kind of adventures, you know, I've gotten better at making excuses. So yeah, it's been a slow and steady decline, you know.
Do you think that's related with aging?
No, I think that has more to do with. I mean, I hate to, you know, make it about this whole thing, you know, but it's just the apathy that comes with like drug use, opiate drug use. You just become like no, I'd rather be comfortable here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I would associate it. I think it's like a natural development that happens in your life. I think a lot of people, if they don't work at it, they become apathetic and they become they conform a little bit to something that they're more familiar.
Yeah.
They become more scared.
Yeah, you just fall into these trappings, develop like entropy, you know, like like social entropy or something. I don't know.
When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what do you normally do?
Music helps.
Music.
Yeah, I usually
What do you like to listen to?
um, when I'm overwhelmed, I like listening to like like it's kind of weird, right? Since we were talking about how much I like drugs, but you heard of a like not genre, but like a thing called Youth Crew? It's like have you heard of the band Minor Threat?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, like straight edge, but it's like super like hardcore, but like positive, like positive-core, and it's like.
So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you listen to like this like hardcore.
Yeah, it's
positivity.
like fuck this shit, like you don't have to, fall into these trappings. Like you're a fucking soldier, and it's kind of cheesy and savvy, but
Do you think it's
I
like
find it inspirational.
Do you think it's like a sort of self-talk?
I don't know.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, do you do that on purpose to try to influence you out of like a rut?
Yeah. But then it's hard to like or it's not hard, but it's funny, like listening to that shit while like I'm probably gonna get high later, so it still has the intended effect, but yeah, that's what I like to do when I'm feeling overwhelmed or something. Aside from the obvious answer of like get high, right? Yeah.
I feel like that is a consistent theme in the question.
But
just answering all the questions, does that kind of make you?
Shit, yeah, it's depressing, man. But it's true. I mean, like I'm in a rut, and like I don't know what to do. Try reading and it's boring. So I put the book down. It's hard, and then like I try to sit down and nothing comes, but like then I just take this substance and like boom, the magic's there. Like I can paint for it however long the effects last. Even if it's shit, I just throw it out and keep going. On a new sheet of paper or canvas. So it's like cheating, but it fucks you up when it's all gone. It's like you get this inspiration for like 5 hours, and then once that wears off, then let's say that was your first time ever doing that drug. You become inspired for what 5 hours, and then the next day, like let's say without a drug you would get inspired like once a week. So now, like since you did that, you have to like skip a week, so you're not gonna get naturally inspired for like 2 weeks, and then so like if you do that drug long enough, then you're gonna have to wait a long time to get that natural kind of muse or that natural
Do you think it's kind of like, it's like it almost sounds like you're taking out a loan. You know what I mean? Like it's taking out an interest almost.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah, and you're like constantly getting indebted because the loan that you took out is like getting you to when your next inspiration would come, but it's not going to be enough, so you got to take out another loan, so you're trapped in that cycle. Yeah.
So how do you feel right now, like if you were to draw and you were to paint
right now? I don't even want to get up, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know how.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you were to do that kind of thing, does it help or does it kind of hurt, or is it non-consequential to how you're feeling right now?
Like if I get high right now?
No. Like to paint or do graffiti or something like that. Like right now, you mentioned that you you're kind of going cold turkey,
Mm-hmm.
whether intentional or unintentional. If you were to paint or do graffiti, do you think that would help the mood, or do you think that wouldn't affect it?
I think it would be detrimental. Like my lines would waver way more, and it would just be bad, I think, or at least that's what I think right now. But you could never really feel. You could always have an idea of how you're gonna feel, like right. You can have an idea of how you're gonna feel when you're gonna do it, but you never really know until you're like in front of the canvas or in front of the wall.
Mm.
But right now, I would think like it would feel like shit, and like I wouldn't want to do it, and it'd be ugly, it'd be boring, or just wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Do you think the drugs help?
They help, yeah, for the moment. Yeah,
The
just
borrowed time.
because for now it'll make me feel like baseline normal, so
Right.
I'd be able to do something halfway decent.
Does it part of you think that if you were to get over it, like say cold turkey for however long, a month or two or whatever?
It takes like 3 months to be back like on base level, like 3 months.
So you think if you were to do that, you think you would still feel the same way, or do you think it would be?
I think I would be back. I think I'd be okay. Like right now, I'll be sick for like a week, and then I'd feel crazy in my head for like another 2 weeks, and then it'd be kind of weird for like another couple months, but like 3 months I'll be good. So I think I can do it, you know. I feel like I've had a lot of times when it's like, you know, you want to get as high as you can, and you get to a point where you're like, oh fuck, dude, this is too much. Like I just fucked up. I might die right now, and it's scary. And you know, those times, those moments have been increasing in frequency. You know, right now. So I feel like right now is maybe a good time to stop. You know, cut my losses. You know.
Do you got anything else to say before we finish this?
I don't know, not really. I hope any of it is usable. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you.